Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are talking about something that's probably on a lot of your minds if you're a homeowner here in Michigan.
Definitely a big one.
Home repair grants.
Oh, yeah.
It can feel like kind of a ways out there.
Yeah, it can.
Figuring out all the different programs and who qualifies and what they offer.
It's a jungle out there.
But the good news
Good
is,
news is,
you are not alone.
that's right.
We are going to break it all down for you in this deep dive.
Absolutely. And we've got a ton of resources for you guys on the podcast page.
Exactly, so don't worry.
Links to all these programs we're talking about.
If you miss something we say,
Yep.
you can always go back and find it all there.
Absolutely.
So why is this even important? Why should Michigan homeowners care about these programs?
Well, Michigan winters,
Yeah,
they are tough on our homes.
they are brutal.
Roofs take a beating, foundations crack.
Yeah.
And then there's energy bills.
Don't even get me started.
I know, right?
It's scary how high those can get,
Absolutely.
especially in the winter.
And, repairs and upgrades can be expensive.
So expensive.
But that's where these programs come in. They can help offset those costs.
And we're not talking about chump change.
No.
We're talking about serious money here.
Thousands of dollars in potential assistance.
Yes.
And it's not just for low-income homeowners.
Yeah, that's a big misconception
It is.
that a lot of people have.
Yeah, there are programs for seniors, veterans, people with disabilities.
Yep.
Even moderate income earners who might not think they qualify.
Right.
So
don't count yourself out.
Yeah.
Just because you think you make too much money.
absolutely.
There could still be something out there for you.
Absolutely.
So where do we begin? There are so many different programs. How do we even know where to start?
Well, there are 5 main sources of assistance. You've got your federal programs like from HUD.
Okay.
You've got your state programs from MSHDA, your local county and city programs,
Uh-huh.
and then specific help for rural residents through the USDA.
Okay.
And then finally, just a whole network of community organizations that are out there to help.
So it sounds like there's no shortage of options.
No, not at all.
That's good to know.
Yeah, and what's interesting is that a lot of these programs aren't limited to just one type of repair.
Okay, so it's not like I have to find a different program for my windows and my roof and my foundation.
Exactly. You might be able to find one program that can help in with a lot of those things.
Okay, great. So it pays to do your research.
Absolutely. You really got to understand the nuances of each program.
And that's where those jump links and the source material come in handy, right?
Exactly. So you don't have to wade through, pages and pages of information.
Okay, cool.
You can just click those links and jump straight to the section that you need.
Perfect. Okay, so you mentioned this earlier, but I want to dig into this a little bit more because I know it's a big concern for a lot of people.
Sure.
A lot of homeowners think that these programs are only for low-income families.
Right.
So can you set the record straight on that?
Absolutely. So while income is a factor in some programs, it's not the only one.
Okay.
Like we've been talking about, seniors, veterans, and people with disabilities often get priority regardless of their income level.
Got it.
And even if you're above the income limit for a particular program,
Yeah.
you might still qualify.
Okay.
Because your eligibility also depends on things like your location
Okay.
and the median income in your area.
Okay.
So you could be making a decent amount of money,
Right.
but if you're in a really high income area, you might still qualify for some assistance.
So it's all relative.
Exactly. It's kind of like being a small fish in a big pond.
Okay. I like that analogy. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So don't count yourself out.
No.
Just because you think you make too much money,
Exactly.
always check.
Absolutely.
Because you never know.
You never know.
Okay, and another important point before we move on.
Yeah.
Please don't wait
Yes.
until your roof is caving in
Absolutely.
or your pipes have burst to start looking into these programs.
Please don't.
Because a lot of them have limited funding and they operate on a first-come, first-served basis.
That's right.
So you snooze, you lose.
Pretty much.
Get on it.
Yep.
Okay, so let's get into some specific needs and projects that these programs can help with.
Sure.
Window replacement is a big one.
Huge.
For a lot of homeowners here in Michigan, those drafts in the winter
Absolutely.
can be brutal.
It's expensive.
So expensive. What kind of assistance is out there for window replacement?
Well, we've got 8 programs that could potentially help with window replacement.
Wow. 8.
Yeah, and these programs look at things like the age of your windows,
Okay.
their energy efficiency, and if they pose any safety hazards.
Okay, so if my windows are old and drafty and maybe a little dangerous, I got a good shot at getting some help.
You're in good shape.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
What about roofs?
Roofs, yes.
Roof replacements.
Another big one.
Another big expense, especially if there's been storm damage
Oh, yeah.
or just wear and tear over time.
Yeah, or hail.
Hail, yeah.
Hail, yeah.
Michigan gets it all.
We get it all.
So what can people do?
Well, the good news is
Yes.
there are 7 programs that can potentially help with roof replacement.
7.
Yep, and we're talking grants, interest-free loans, low-interest loans.
Okay, so there are options depending on your situation.
Absolutely.
That's great. So we've talked about windows and roofs.
Yep.
What other types of repairs do these programs typically cover?
Oh, you name it. Foundations, electrical, plumbing, heating and cooling, asbestos, and lead removal.
Wow.
Sewer and water line repairs.
It's like they thought of everything.
They really have, and they go beyond the basics, too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we found some programs that even offer assistance with home remodeling incentives
Ah.
and bathroom remodel assistance.
Bathroom remodels. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So a lot of programs recognize that a safe and functional bathroom
Oh.
is essential for everyone's health and well-being.
Absolutely.
So they might help with things like, replacing old fixtures, installing grab bars,
Okay.
or just making other modifications to improve accessibility.
So it's not just about aesthetics.
Yeah.
It's about creating a healthy and safe environment.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, I know we have a lot of listeners who are either seniors themselves or have senior loved ones.
Right.
So what kind of assistance is available specifically for seniors?
Well, there are 9 programs that specifically focus on helping seniors
Okay.
make their homes safer and more accessible.
Okay.
So we're talking things like ramps,
Yeah.
bathroom modifications, grab bars, and other adaptations
Okay.
that allow them to age in place.
Yeah, aging in place is so important
It is.
for seniors to be able to stay
Maintain their independence.
in their homes as long as possible.
Absolutely.
That's great. Okay, so we've got seniors covered. What about veterans?
Veterans. Yep, we found 7 programs specifically designed to help veterans with disability-related housing adaptations.
So things like ramps, bathroom modifications again?
Exactly. Widening doorways, installing lifts,
Okay.
things like that.
So it's all about removing barriers and making sure that everyone
Right.
can live comfortably and safely in their home.
Exactly.
Okay, what about the rest of us? Those of us who don't fit into those categories.
Yeah, there's plenty out there for everybody else, too.
Okay, good.
The majority of the programs are open to all homeowners, regardless of age, income, or disability status.
So even if I'm just looking to, make my home a little more energy efficient,
Yep,
there might be something out there for me.
absolutely. And those energy efficiency upgrades can save you a ton of money on your utility bill.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
In the long run.
It's a win-win.
It is.
Okay, so there's a lot out there for everybody.
Yeah.
Now, I want to talk about this because I know this is a big concern
Okay.
for a lot of people who live outside of the major cities in Michigan.
Right.
People think that if they live in a rural area, they're kind of out of luck when it comes to home repair assistance.
Yeah, that's not true at all.
Really?
Yeah, there are actually a number of programs
Okay.
that are specifically designed for rural homeowners.
Okay, that's good to know. Like what are some examples?
Well, one example is the USDA has a program that caters to low-income homeowners in rural areas,
Okay.
and they offer both loans and grants to help with essential repairs and upgrades.
So even if you're out in the country,
Yep,
you're not forgotten.
you are not forgotten.
Okay, that's great.
And don't forget about those community organizations that we talked about earlier.
Right.
A lot of them have a strong presence in rural areas.
Okay.
And they're really dedicated to helping those homeowners in need, regardless of where they live.
So no matter where you live in Michigan,
Yep,
there is help available.
there is.
That is fantastic news. Okay, what about those situations
Okay.
where disaster strikes?
Oh, yeah.
A tornado rips through your town or a major flood happens.
Right.
Are there programs out there that can help homeowners recover from those kinds of events?
Absolutely. So if a disaster is declared in your area,
Okay.
FEMA steps in and they provide assistance.
Okay.
And they have a whole range of resources available.
Okay.
From temporary housing to financial aid for repairs.
Okay, so FEMA's the big one.
FEMA's the big one.
And then I also see something here about the SBA.
Yes, the Small Business Administration.
What do they have to do with this?
Well, they also offer grants and loans,
Okay.
specifically for disaster-related losses that aren't covered by insurance or FEMA.
Okay, so kind of like a safety net.
Exactly.
If you fall through the cracks.
Yeah.
Okay, so even in the face of disaster,
Yes,
there is hope.
there is.
Okay, let's talk about some of the big players at the federal and state levels,
Okay.
starting with HUD,
Yes.
the Department of Housing and Urban Development.
Yep.
What kind of assistance do they offer?
So HUD has a couple of standout programs.
Okay.
First up is the Rehabilitation and Repair Loan,
Okay.
which is also known as the Title I Property Improvement Loan.
Catchy.
Yeah, and this loan is designed for homeowners who might not qualify for a traditional home improvement loan.
Okay.
Maybe because they don't have enough equity in their homes.
Okay.
So with this program, the FHA, which is part of HUD, they actually insure the loan for the lender.
Okay.
So it's kind of like HUD is vouching for you,
Got it.
making the lender more willing to approve you.
Okay, so that could be a big help for people
Huge
who
help.
might otherwise not be able to get a loan.
Absolutely.
Okay, so that's the Rehabilitation and Repair Loan.
Yep.
What's the other HUD program we need to know about?
It's the 2 or 3K Rehabilitation Mortgage,
Okay.
which is kind of a unique loan that combines both the purchase or refinancing of a home
Okay.
and the cost of renovations all into one mortgage.
Okay, that sounds convenient.
It is.
You don't have to juggle two separate loans
Nope.
for the purchase and the renovations.
All in one.
So tell me more about this.
So within the 203K program, you
Yeah.
actually have two options.
Okay.
You have the limited 203K
Okay.
for smaller projects under $35,000.
Okay.
And then you have the standard 203K,
Okay.
which is for larger projects over $35,000.
Okay, so no matter the size of your project, there's an option for you.
Exactly.
What if I don't want to buy a new house?
Okay.
Or refinance, can I still use this loan for renovation?
Absolutely. It can be used for both purchases and refinances.
Okay, great. So there's some flexibility there.
Lots of flexibility.
Okay, awesome. What about MSHDA?
MSHD. All right.
The Michigan State Housing Development Authority.
Yes.
What do they bring to the table?
So they've got a couple of really important programs.
Okay.
The first one is the Neighborhood Enhancement Program,
Okay.
or EP for short.
NAP got it.
And this program is all about funding innovative housing projects
Okay.
that benefit low and moderate income areas.
Okay, so it's not just about helping individuals.
Right.
It's about improving neighborhoods as a whole.
Exactly. It's a holistic approach
I love that.
to community development.
Yeah, okay, so that's the Neighborhood Enhancement Program.
Yep.
What else does MSHDA have?
And then they have the Weatherization Program.
Okay, tell me more about that.
So this program is focused on making homes more energy efficient,
Okay.
which is a big deal here in Michigan,
Huge deal.
especially with our long winters.
Yeah.
So this program can help you with things like insulation, ventilation, and even a furnace tune-up.
Okay, so anything that will help me save money on my energy bills,
Exactly.
I'm here for it.
Yep.
Okay, so we've covered federal and state programs.
Right.
Now let's talk about those community organizations.
Yeah.
That often fly under the radar.
Right.
Who are some of the key players we should know about?
Well, one of the most well-known is Habitat for Humanity.
Yes.
They have a whopping 38 programs in Michigan,
Wow.
all focused on building and repairing homes for those in need.
Yeah, they do amazing work.
Incredible work. And then they also have their restorers,
Oh, yeah, the restorers.
which sell discounted building materials, appliances, and furniture.
Okay, so you can save money and support a good cause.
Exactly. A win-win.
I love that. Okay, what about Michigan Community Action?
Michigan Community Action.
I've heard of them,
Yes.
but I don't really know a lot about what they do.
They're a network of 28 agencies
Okay.
across the state
Wow.
that provide a wide range of services to low-income families,
Okay.
including home repair assistance.
So they're really kind of on the front lines of helping people stay in their homes
They are.
and make them safe and healthy.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we got Habitat for Humanity, Michigan Community Action. Are there any other community organizations that homeowners should be aware of?
You know, there are tons of smaller local organizations out there doing great work.
Okay.
The best way to find them is to contact your local city or county government
Okay.
and see what's available in your area.
Okay, good tip. You never know what you might find.
You really don't.
Right in your own backyard.
You'd be surprised.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot of general programs.
Yeah.
But I want to circle back to a couple of specific needs that often come up.
Okay.
Window replacement and roof replacement.
Yeah.
Are there any programs out there that focus specifically on windows or roofs?
Absolutely. So for window replacement,
Yeah.
one of the best resources is the Weatherization Assistance Program, or WAP.
Okay, WAP, tell me more about that.
WAP is funded federally,
Okay.
but managed locally,
Okay.
and it can help you get energy-efficient windows
Okay.
at no cost.
No cost, really?
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
And it's not just limited to windows. They might also help with insulation,
Okay.
heating and cooling repairs,
Wow.
other energy-saving upgrades.
So if you're looking to replace your windows and make your home more energy efficient,
Yep.
WAP is definitely worth checking out.
Absolutely.
Okay, what about roof replacement?
Roof replacement.
Are there any specific programs for that?
So there are a number of avenues for roof assistance.
Okay.
We've got grants, interest-free loans, and low-interest loans available through various programs.
Okay.
Be sure to check out city and county programs.
Yep.
And if you're in a rural area, the USDA might be a good option.
Okay, great. So we've got lots of options for roof replacement,
Lots of options.
depending on your individual needs and circumstances.
That's right.
That's good to know. Now, before we wrap up part one,
Yeah.
I want to remind everyone
Yes.
that we have a ton of helpful resources on our podcast page,
We do.
including links to all the programs we've talked about today.
Absolutely.
So please check those out and stay tuned for part two,
Yep.
where we'll dive deeper into some specific programs
Looking forward to it.
and give you some insider tips on how to increase your chances of getting approved.
Absolutely. And as always, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.
We are here to help.
Absolutely. Welcome back to the Deep Dive.
Picking up right where we left off, exploring all the ins and outs of these home repair assistance programs here in Michigan.
Absolutely. We're excited to dig a little deeper into some specific programs
Yeah.
and share some insider tips
Yes.
that can make all the difference in your application process.
Okay, so let's start with that USDA program for rural homeowners that we mentioned earlier.
Okay.
Seems like a real game changer
It is.
for folks out in the country.
It really is.
So can you remind us what that program was all about?
So the USDA Rural Repair and Rehabilitation Loan and Grant Program
Okay.
offers an average grant of $7,810 and an average loan of $8,980.
Okay, those numbers sound pretty promising.
Yeah.
But what does that actually translate to in terms of real-world repairs? I mean, can it cover a typical roof replacement, for example?
That's a great question. And while those average amounts might not cover the entire cost of a major roof replacement,
Okay.
they could definitely make a significant dent
Okay.
in the overall expenses.
So it's not a complete solution,
Right.
but it could significantly ease the financial burden.
Absolutely. And remember, the program allows you to combine loans and grants
Okay.
up to a total of $50,000 in assistance.
Wow. That's a substantial amount of
There
support.
it is.
It seems like a lifeline for rural homeowners
It is.
who are facing those big-ticket repairs.
It really is. And it's important to remember that the program is flexible.
Okay.
So loans can be used for a wide range of repairs, improvements, or modernizations, or to remove health and safety hazards.
Okay, so if I need to, upgrade my electrical system, fix my plumbing,
Yeah,
or even make my home more accessible, this loan could be an option.
it could be.
Okay, what about the grants?
Grants are specifically for removing health and safety hazards.
Okay, so if I have lead paint that needs to be removed or my roof is literally in danger of collapsing,
Yeah,
that's when a grant might come in handy.
exactly. And here's a crucial detail. To qualify for a grant, you need to be 62 years or older
Okay,
and unable to repay a repair loan.
okay.
There's no age restriction for the loan program, though.
Okay, so if you're a senior on a fixed income, this program could be a real lifesaver.
A lifesaver, it allows seniors to age in place safely and comfortably
Absolutely.
without having to worry about those crushing costs.
Yes, speaking of seniors,
Yes.
I know a lot of them think that there are specific programs just for them.
Right.
Is that true?
That's a common misconception.
Okay.
While there are programs that prioritize seniors,
Yeah.
they are absolutely eligible for all the general home improvement programs we've discussed.
So don't limit yourself.
No.
Cast a wide net.
Yes. Explore all your options.
Explore all the options, and if you're looking for comprehensive information specifically for seniors, where should they go?
Reach out to your local area agency on aging.
Okay.
They can point you in the right direction.
Perfect.
And connect you with all those resources that best fit your needs.
Awesome. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about the Weatherization Assistance Program.
LEP.
WEP. Yes.
Yes.
One of my favorites.
Fantastic program. Can make a huge difference
Yeah.
in your comfort and your energy bills.
It helps homeowners make their homes more energy efficient.
Yes.
Which is so important here in Michigan.
So important. And the best part
Yes.
is it can provide these energy-saving upgrades at no cost to eligible homeowners.
Okay, I've got to ask.
Yeah.
No cost. Really? How does that work?
So it's funded federally, but administered locally through a network of community and agencies.
Okay, so it's a real community effort.
It is.
I love that. And it's not just limited to insulation and ventilation.
No, they might help with your heating and cooling systems,
Okay.
repairs or replacements.
So it's not just about making your home more comfortable.
Right.
It's also about making sure that your essential systems are functioning properly
Exactly.
and efficiently.
And by reducing your energy consumption, you're not only saving money, but also reducing your environmental impact.
It's a win-win.
It is.
Win for your wallet, win for the planet.
Absolutely.
Okay, I know we mentioned earlier that there are programs specifically for veterans.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more about those?
Of course. So the VA offers a range of programs
Okay.
designed to support veterans with disabilities in adapting their homes for greater accessibility and independence.
Okay, so we're talking about things like ramps, bathroom modifications,
Yes.
widening doorways, installing lifts.
All of that.
Okay.
Making sure that the home environment is really supportive of their well-being.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, I know a lot of homeowners are really curious about the 203K loan program.
Yes,
Can you shed some light on the eligibility requirements and the application process?
absolutely. So the 203K loan is a bit more complex
Okay.
than some of the other programs that we've talked about,
Okay.
but it can be a fantastic option for homeowners who are looking to purchase or refinance a home that needs renovations.
Sounds like a dream come true.
It is, but it's important to understand the requirements.
Okay.
So first and foremost, the home must meet certain FHA standards.
Okay, so it can't be a complete gut job.
Right. It needs to have some structural integrity.
Okay, got it.
And you'll need to work with an FHA-approved lender
Okay.
and a qualified contractor who's familiar with the 203K process.
Okay, so this is not a DIY project.
It is not. The renovation plans need to be approved by HUD.
Okay.
And the funds are held in escrow and released to the contractor as the work progresses.
Okay, so that protects both the lender and the homeowner.
Absolutely. Now the application process can be a bit more involved
Okay.
than a traditional mortgage application.
Okay.
So it's crucial to gather all the necessary documentation beforehand.
Like, what kind of documentation are we talking about?
You'll need your income verification,
Okay.
your credit reports, and detailed renovation plans,
Okay.
including cost estimates.
Okay, so a little bit more paperwork.
Yes.
But the payoff could be huge.
It could be imagine being able to purchase your dream fixer-upper and roll the renovation costs right into your mortgage.
That's the ultimate home renovation hack.
It is.
I love it. Okay, I want to circle back to the concept of eligibility
Okay.
because I know this can be really confusing for people.
It can.
We've talked about income limits, age restrictions, and all these other factors that come
Right.
into play.
It varies from program to program.
Right, so how can homeowners make sure they're casting the widest net possible and not missing out on potential assistance?
My advice is to contact multiple agencies
Okay,
and inquire about their specific eligibility criteria.
so don't just assume that you did to qualify.
Exactly. You might be pleasantly surprised.
You never know.
And remember, some programs have waiting lists,
Okay,
so it's always best to apply early.
the early bird gets the worm.
It does.
Okay, let's talk about some common mistakes
Okay.
that homeowners make when applying for these programs.
All right.
What are some things that people should avoid doing?
One of the biggest mistakes is not reading the program guidelines carefully.
Oh yeah, that's like signing a contract without reading the fine print.
Exactly. Make sure you understand the eligibility requirements, the types of repairs that are covered, and the application deadlines.
And don't be afraid to ask questions.
No, the agency staff are there to help you.
That's their job.
Absolutely. Another common mistake is not providing all the required documentation.
Oh yeah, incomplete applications are a big no-no.
Big no-no. They can lead to delays or even rejections.
Yeah, so gather everything you need beforehand.
Yes.
Income verification proof of homeownership contractor bids anything that's specified in the application instruction.
It's all about being organized and prepared.
Be prepared. And my final piece of advice,
Yes.
be patient.
Be patient. This application process can take time.
Yeah,
So don't get discouraged if you don't hear back right away.
like waiting for a watched pot to boil.
Exactly. But trust me, the payoff is worth it.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
From, specific program details to eligibility tips, application advice.
Absolutely. And we've really explored the transformative impact these programs can have on homeowners' lives,
Absolutely.
allowing them to make those essential repairs, improve their comfort, and even increase the value of their homes.
It's life-changing for a lot of people.
It is.
But before we wrap up part 2, I want to shift gears a little bit
Okay.
and talk about something that I think often gets overlooked in the excitement of home renovations.
Right.
Safety.
So important.
It's easy to get caught up
It is.
in, dreams of sparkling new kitchens and cozy living spaces.
Absolutely.
But we need to remember that home renovations, while exciting,
Yeah,
can also be dangerous
they
if
can.
not approached with caution.
You got it.
So before you start tearing down walls or rewiring your electrical system,
Please.
let's talk about some essential safety tips
Yes.
that every homeowner should know.
Safety first.
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've covered a ton of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
From eligibility requirements
Yeah.
to inspiring stories of homeowners
Absolutely.
who have transformed their lives through these programs.
It's been an incredible journey.
But now we're going to shift gears a little bit
Okay.
and focus on a topic that often gets overlooked
Yeah,
in all the excitement
I know.
of home repairs and renovation.
It's easy to forget.
Safety.
So important.
It's easy to get caught up in,
It is.
streams of sparkling new kitchens
Oh,
and
yeah.
cozy living spaces.
Right.
But it's important to remember that
Yeah.
home renovations, while exciting,
Uh-huh.
can also pose certain risks
Absolutely.
if not approached with caution.
You got it.
So before you start tearing down walls
Yes.
or rewiring your electrical system,
Please be careful.
let's talk about some essential safety tips
Okay.
that every homeowner should know.
Safety should always be your top priority.
Absolutely.
And that starts with choosing the right contractor for the job.
Yeah. Finding a trustworthy and qualified contractor
Yes.
can make all the difference.
It really can.
Not only in the quality of the work,
Right.
but also in ensuring a safe and smooth renovation process.
You want someone you can trust.
Exactly. So what are some red flags
Okay.
that homeowners should watch out for when they're interviewing potential contractors?
Well, first and foremost, make sure they're licensed and insured.
Okay, that's non-negotiable.
Non-negotiable. It protects you in case of accidents or damage.
Yeah, you don't want to be on the hook for that.
You don't.
What else?
And don't hesitate to ask for references
Yes.
and check them.
Talk to previous clients.
Yes, talk to people who have actually worked with this contractor.
See what their experience was like.
Absolutely.
Okay, good tip. What else?
Another red flag is if a contractor pressures you to make a quick decision,
Oh, yeah, I hate that.
or if they seem evasive about their qualifications.
Yeah, it's like those used car salesmen.
Exactly. You want someone who's upfront and honest.
Who's not trying to rush you into anything.
Exactly. A reputable contractor will be happy to answer your questions.
Yeah.
And give you all the information you need
To make an informed decision.
to feel comfortable.
Okay, and get everything in writing.
Always get it in writing.
A detailed contract that outlines the scope of the work, the timeline, the payment schedule.
Absolutely.
Any warranties or guarantees.
How is that?
That way there are no surprises.
Right.
Down the road.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've talked about choosing the right contractor.
Yep.
Let's talk about some specific safety measures
Okay.
that homeowners should take during the renovation process.
All right. One of the biggest concerns is handling hazardous materials.
Yeah, especially in older homes.
Especially in older homes, you might have asbestos,
Lead paint,
paint.
all sorts of nasty stuff.
You don't even know what's lurking.
Yeah, so if you suspect that your home might contain hazardous materials,
Yep.
what should you do?
You need to have them tested
Okay,
and removed.
okay. And don't try to handle this yourself.
Please don't. It's not worth risking your health.
Absolutely call in the professionals.
The pros know what they're doing.
Okay, what about electrical work?
Electrical work, yes.
Electricity is nothing to mess with.
Nothing to mess with. One wrong move
Yeah.
could be fatal.
So unless you are a qualified electrician,
Mm-hmm.
leave it to the pros.
Leave it to the pros.
And even if you're just doing some minor repairs,
Uh-huh.
like replacing a light fixture,
Yeah.
what should you do?
Turn off the power to that circuit
Okay,
at the breaker box.
always a good idea.
Always a good idea, and never work on electrical wiring with wet hands.
Oh yeah,
Or while standing on a wet surface.
water and electricity,
Bad combination.
not a good mix.
No.
Okay, what about fire safety?
Fire safety, yes, especially during renovations.
Yeah.
You might have exposed wiring
Right,
or flammable materials around.
so it's important to be extra cautious.
Be extra cautious. You need to have working smoke detectors
Yes.
on every level of your home
Okay,
and outside each sleeping area.
and test them regularly.
Test them regularly, make sure they're working.
Yep, because you never know.
You never know.
It's also a good idea to have a fire extinguisher on hand
Absolutely.
and to know how to use it.
Know how to use it. Don't wait until there's a fire to figure it out.
Right, exactly.
And if you're doing any work that involves heat or flames,
Nice soldering.
soldering, welding,
Yeah.
make sure you have a fire watch person.
Okay, someone who's paying attention.
Paying attention.
Just in case something happens.
Exactly.
Okay, good tips. Let's talk about personal protective equipment.
PPE.
PPE, yes.
Yes, this is essential.
For anyone involved in the renovation process.
Whether you're a homeowner, a contractor, a subcontractor.
So we're talking about things like eye protection,
eye protection,
hearing protection,
hearing protection,
gloves, dust
masks,
masks. All of it, these simple measures can go a long way
Yeah.
in preventing injuries and protecting your health.
It's not worth it to risk your health.
It's not. And it's not just about protecting yourself from immediate hazards.
Right.
It's also about preventing long-term health problems,
Like what?
like hearing loss from prolonged exposure to loud noises.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Big one.
Okay, good point. All right, let's talk about ladder safety.
Ladder safety. Oh, yes.
This is a big one. Huge. Ladders are one of the most common causes of household injuries.
They aren't. It's easy to take them for granted. Yeah, you don't think about it
But they can be dangerous
until it's too late.
if not used properly, so always inspect a ladder before you use it.
Okay.
Make sure it's in good condition.
Look for cracks.
Cracks, dents, loose rungs.
Yeah, anything that looks suspicious.
Anything suspicious, and when you're setting it up,
Yeah.
make sure it's on a firm level surface.
Okay.
Don't lean it against a window or anything that could move or shift.
That's a good tip.
And always maintain 3 points of contact
Okay.
with the ladder.
So 2 hands and 1 foot.
2 hands and 1 foot.
2 feet and 1 hand. That's right.
Got it. And never reach too far
Yeah.
to the side.
It's better to climb down and reposition the ladder
It is.
than to risk falling.
And to risk a fall. Absolutely.
Okay, good advice. Now, one last thing before we wrap up.
Okay.
I want to emphasize the importance of communication
Communication.
on the job site.
So important.
Clear and open communication.
Between the homeowners, contractors, and subcontractors,
Everyone needs to be on the same page.
everyone on the same page.
Prevent accidents.
Exactly. Make sure everyone understands the scope of the work.
The safety
The
protocols.
safety protocols, any potential hazards.
And don't be afraid to speak up
Please speak up.
if you see something
If you see something
that doesn't look right.
that doesn't look right or feels unsafe,
It's better to be safe than sorry.
always.
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 Absolutely. Okay, so there you have it.
There you have it.
A deep dive into essential safety tips for home renovations.
We covered a lot.
We covered a lot of ground, but remember,
Remember?
This is just a starting point.
Absolutely. Do your
So
research.
consult with qualified professional
Yes.
and always prioritize safety.
Safety first.
Safety first. Okay, and don't
Just
forget
forget.
to check out all those helpful resources
We have a lot for you.
on our podcast page.
Tons of information.
We've compiled a wealth of information there to help you navigate
Absolutely.
this whole world of home repair assistance.
And safety tips.
Safety tips, everything.
Everything.
So go forth and create a home you love
Yes.
safely and
A
confidently.
well-maintained and safe home
Yes,
is a foundation for a happy and fulfilling life.
absolutely. Thanks for joining us
Thanks for having me.
on this deep dive,
It's been a pleasure.
and we'll see you next time.
See you next time.